Surface Tension, written by Loveotomy. Although Mikan had yet to become an official registered nurse, her position on the school's healthcare committee had allowed her to spend a good deal of time at the local hospital, shadowing the nurses and aiding in patient care. She had also seen dead bodies. Even before the murders had begun on Jabberwock Island, Mikan Tsumiki had watched a man pass away and had felt his skin grow clammy as she tried in vain to revive him. It wasn't all that long ago that she had finally managed to push the corpse of the drowning victim to the back of her mind. But it was the gentle lapping of the salty water caressing the warm sand that brought the memory bubbling back to the surface, like the same lifeless body bobbing in the surf. Fighting the urge to get up off the sand and hurry back to the main resort area to surround herself with any living soul who happened to be unfortunate enough to be loitering around when she got there, Mikan remained still, watching the waves lap at her feet. She wasn't certain how long she had sat there, knees pulled up to her chest, before the soft sound of footsteps in the sand interrupted her thoughts.
"Oh, sorry,"
came the voice of Nagito from behind her.
"I didn't think anyone would be here. I'll just go back to my room and leave you alone."
No! Please don't!
Mikan squeaked, despite the fact that she fully realized that he was just being polite. It was clear to her that he wanted to get away as quickly as possible without hurting her feelings. It was selfish of her, but anything was better than being alone with her thoughts at the moment. Nagito merely blinked in surprise at the outburst, uncertain what to make of it when Mikan attempted to scramble up off of the sand. Her attempt to get to her feet, however, was short-lived, as something razor-sharp met the bare sole of her foot, slicing her toe to heel. Mikan didn't know what possessed her to remove her shoes in the first place. Perhaps it was the fact that she had never been to the beach before waking up on the island, but in her moment of whimsy had come back to bite her, just as everything else in her life had. With a pathetic yelp, she toppled over, behind first, onto the rough sand. Funny how it felt so much more unforgiving when crashing onto it, rather than happily digging your toes into the warm, fluffy grains. Especially when razor-sharp mussel shells just happened to be lurking just beneath it.
Are you all right?
Nagito asked in alarm, kneeling down beside her. Although Mikan certainly was not above falling down and hurting herself in an ill-advised plea for attention, the accident had been a genuine surprise to even her for once.
I'm fine,
Mikan replied automatically, flinching when Nagito placed a gentle hand on her ankle. Her touch was warm compared to the cooling of the salt water on her skin.
"While I'm sure you know more about these things than I do,"
Nagito admitted, brows creased.
"that doesn't really look so good."
Mikan's gaze traveled toward where Nagito's hand rested, just above her foot. What had felt to her like just a little scratch was in fact a worryingly deep gash, oozing blood caked with sand. Hardly sanitary, and would likely require stitches.
"I really think we should get you to a pharmacy. Can you stand?"
No.
Mikan said, staring blankly at the wound, as if waiting for it to sew itself up of its own accord.
"Oh geez, that's no good. Let me help you up then."
Nagito offered, holding out a hand.
"It's probably my fault anyway. With my bad luck and all. I really should have left when I meant to."
As he spoke, Mikan batted his hand away before instantly recoiling, clutching her hand to her chest as if stung.
"Yeah, I wouldn't want to touch me either."
It's not that!
Mikan shook her head profusely.
"Then what?"
Nagito cocked his head to the side. Mikan couldn't help but think that he was beginning to grow frustrated with her as he settled down beside her in the sand. Clearly, he expected this interaction to take a while, But where did either of them have to go anyway? Where did any of them go? While waiting for Mikan to speak, Nagito gingerly picked up the offending shell, tossing it into the ocean. Somehow, he managed to skip it like a stone on a stream, giving it 3 little hops before it disappeared beneath the waves. Mikan had stopped questioning days ago the odd occurrences that always seemed to spring up around him.
I just wasn't planning to treat it, that's all.
Mikan said plainly, still preoccupied by the waves, as if waiting for the shell to return to shore.
I see.
Nagito mused, grabbing a fistful of sand and letting it run through his fingers.
I'm not going to force you to do anything you don't want to, but I do think that would be an awful waste of your talents, though.
My talent is for helping others. I feel like there's not much point to it if I'm just using it on myself. No one would appreciate it or thank me. So, I just thought I'd wait to see how long until it festers.
Would anyone feel sorry for her? Would anyone comment on it or worry for her? Would they even miss her if she died of sepsis before one of the other students got to her first? It was true that Mikan couldn't ever remember being happier than she was right now on the island. But wouldn't it all end soon anyway? Either they would be rescued and be forced to return to their former lives, a scenario that seemed increasingly unlikely, or someone would end her miserable life for her.
Personally, I think it's more of a waste if you don't use your talent.
Nagito replied with a shrug. Mikan couldn't help but admire his attitude, in a way. Thinking back, she couldn't recall caring about any one thing the same way that Nagito Komaeda did about talent. The two fell into silence for a time, and Mikan began to wonder how long it would take him to grow bored of her and leave. As the seconds ticked by, she let it become a game of sorts. Rather than apologize for the silence, Mikan held her tongue, letting the waves do the talking as her foot continued to bleed on the sand. Finally, it was Nagito who broke the silence, losing at a game he wasn't even aware that he was playing.
Mikan, do you like the ocean?
I don't know.
Did Nagito like the ocean? Is that why he was here, staying by her side for so long? What was the right answer here?
Yes?
Just the way you were watching it before I got here. It was like you were lost in it. That's all.
I was just thinking that it might not be the worst way to go.
Mikan wasn't sure why she chose to confide such a bizarre thought to him. No one would want anything to do with her after admitting to such abnormal thoughts, after all. Perhaps it was the fact that she had begun to feel a strange kinship with him, both always on the fringe of the group, barely tolerated by the rest.
Walking into the water until it's over my head. At least I would have some control that way, before anyone else did it for me. I know, it's a disgusting way to think, isn't it? If you want to push me in the water and leave, you can.
Nagito stood then, crossing his arms, and Mikan's heart skipped a beat, thinking he was about to do just that. However, he continued to do no more than watch the water.
I think I get it. Wanting control over how you go out. I mean, not that anyone would miss me.
Once again, he offered a hand, and this time, Mikan accepted, hissing in pain as her torn skin made contact with the sand. As Nagito helped her back to her cabin, Mikan couldn't help but think that if she did one day walk straight into the ocean, further and further until it was over her head, she wouldn't mind having Nagito Komaeda at her side.
Are you alright? The fuck was that? I'm not going to force you to do. Fuck.
No! Please don't!
Oh, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that, man? Freaking voice crack. Fuck.
No! Please don't!
Oh my god, man, what? It's like frickin' it just slips into Fluttershy. What the actual fuck?
Oh, Mikan,
Like that type of thing?
not like this little teeny Fluttershy.
Like that type of thing?
No! Please don't!
Oh god, I sound like Pinkie Pie. Fucking hell! Why in the ever-living fuck would I sound like fucking Pinkie Pie? What the fuck?
I'm trying to do Mikan Tsumiki. Fucking shit! I'm trying to squeak it out.
Frickin'. This is supposed to be a pathetic yelp, but it came off as a frickin' squeaking little frickin' yee. Frickin' shit. God, it sounds like Mikan is fucking choking on something. Like, fuck. Okay. If my throat can fucking cooperate, that would be great. This is not a scream. It's not a fucking scream. Mikan is not screaming, she's just trying to do a pathetic yelp, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why can't my throat fucking cooperate today? Okay, I'm gonna try that again. Jesus Christ, why can't I do it? Freaking high-pitched, pathetic yelp. Why can't I fucking do it? I'm gonna try that fucking thing again. Oh, my fucking throat. Sounds like a choker. Mikan's not fucking dying in this fic. What the fuck? Man, my freaking throat is not cooperating right now. Jesus. Although Mikan certainly was not above falling down and hurting herself in an ill-advised plea for attention, the accident had been a genuine surprise to her. To even her, for once. Can I fucking read? Give me one moment to try again. Mikan's gaze traveled toward where Nagito's hand rested, just above her foot. What had felt to her like just a little scratch. Oh my god. Excuse me. I will try that again. Mikan's gaze traveled towards where towards. It's torward. It's torward. Torward. There's no S in there. There's no S in toward. Damn it.
Walking into the water until it's over my head. At least I would have some control that way. before anyone else did it for me.
Oh my god. Excuse me. Holy hell. This is supposed to be an emotional moment, god damn it. It's supposed to be a freaking sentimental fucking twisted moment, but god damn. Hey everyone, Agent Fluffy here, and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you want to support me even more, feel free to support my Patreon. The links are right here.